Hello everyone, it's Livia here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make patterns on Silhouette Studio. So to start, you need to have PNG files, which means they have a transparent background, and you need to literally open them in Silhouette Studio, just like a normal file. And then what I like to do is save everything and put a name, so you have all the patterns in the same file together, saved and secure. After that, I like to select all the items, copy them and leave them aside, because sometimes you just forget what the originals are. And then we can just create now. So you have to experiment and do many things so you know which patterns you actually want to keep. But to start, you need to know the basics, of course. So the first thing is to rotate an image. You just need to select with the arrow tool and click on the green, and you just go one way or the other and it moves around. The next one is to reflect an image. You have to go to the replicate panel and you choose mirror, and you have to choose the side you want. You just see the arrows going one way or the other, and then you can just use as many as you want of the same item there. So when you're happy with the items, you can literally copy and paste. Control C, Control V, or Command, same things for Mac. To move images to the top of the order, you left click on the image and then you select bring to front or send to back. Very straightforward. To add more details, I copied and pasted the other flowers, and now I'm going to use the eraser tool to rub off all the unwanted parts, which is very easy to be done. And then with these leaves, I'm gonna left click on the mouse, send it to back, and fit where I want in my composition. Now I'm adding more details, sending it to back again, and I'm gonna zoom in. You just need to use the tool on the top of your panel there, and it's very helpful to see all the details. And I'm using the eraser tool again to remove any excess. To zoom out is on the same panel on the top there, and then you just fit everything in the window. And now I'm gonna group everything, and you just press Ctrl G or Command G on MacBook. Very easy as well. When you're happy with your composition, you just copy and paste again, and I like to make it smaller and leave it to the side so I have control of each one that I've created. For this next composition, I'm gonna use this item there with the two flowers, and I'm gonna start using again the eraser tool for some details, and then I'm gonna change for the knife tool, which is very easy to use as well. You just need to click once and click twice to the direction that you want to cut off. After doing that, I have another image that I can use, so I have a separate flower that can be used for a new composition. And to adjust the size of it, you just need the select tool, which is the arrow, and you just make it smaller or bigger or change the placement. Very easy as well. The process is like repetitive. You just have to keep doing the same steps all the time. So again, I'm gonna use the eraser tool to remove some things that I don't want in this composition. I'm using the zoom again. Now the select tool, just adjusting the size and the placement. Now I'm grouping these two items and putting them aside. I'm just literally experimenting using the transform tool there. And now I just reflected this item, and it's a nice composition, very simple to be done. Sent the item to the front, and let's see. So as soon as you're happy with all the compositions you created, in this case, my flowers there, the compositions with the leaves, you can start creating bigger compositions with the compositions we created before. So using repeated items. So this time you're gonna use the replicate tool a lot, which is basically reflect or mirror everything. So you have very nice compositions and maybe symmetrical or even asymmetrical ones. Once you're happy with your composition, don't forget to group it using Ctrl G or Command G. Make a copy, put it aside. So I'm quite happy with the other composition that it looks like a heart, and I decided to add more flowers to the same one and create a new version, which is really cute as well. And let's see how it goes. Always make new trials, always experiment. It's the best way to create. Now let's move to another element. I'm gonna use the reflect tool again. I'm gonna replicate and duplicate. And when I'm happy with it, I'm gonna group them together and I simply duplicate them to create a pattern. So now we're gonna do patterns, not just single elements to be used. I usually start with 2 or 3 elements of the same one if I want a repeated pattern. Then I group them together and I start replicating it. I'm starting there replicating to the bottom, and I think I quite like this one. I group them together basically, and then I replicate another one. And now I'm gonna try to move it around to see how that looks. Maybe I like it, maybe I won't. We'll see. Yeah, in the end I decided that this way is better, and I'm just going to replicate it to the side, in this case to the right, and I'm just adjusting the spacing there with just the mouse, nothing too fancy. And then I'm doing it again, copying and pasting. Decided to go back, replicating everything. And now I'm gonna space these items, and I have to go to the transform tool and spacing, and you have the option of horizontal or vertical, and then you can adjust the space between each individual pattern you created there. Now I decided to make another pattern with the same items but using a different spacing, so a little bit closer, just to see how it looks. And to be honest, I quite like both for what I'm gonna use. By the way, I'm using these patterns to make stickers, not fabric, not anything too big, so they work just fine for me, so I'm quite happy with them. Now let's try another pattern with the pink flowers. Again, I'm going to select the image and use the replicate and duplicate tool. And I'm going to check the spacing on the transform panel again. And then I'm going to use the alignment, transform tool plus align. And you can just do that for any directions. It's very straightforward. And it's a very good one to use, so you know everything's on the same page there. Once I'm happy, I can just duplicate everything. Now I am adjusting everything, like the small block I created for the patterns. I'm sorry about the dog, it's my neighbor's. And yeah, let's just put it all in the direction that I wanted to follow. And once I'm happy, again, group everything using Control G on PC or Command G on MacBook. Using the same pink flowers from my first composition, I'm going to reflect using the mirror, and I'm going to create another pattern. And yeah, you just need to keep trying out and until you have enough patterns, until you're basically happy with what you got there. So as you can see, I have a new bouquet there that I created with 2 magnolias and 1 anemone, sorry. And now that I have this, I can create another surface pattern. And I'm just gonna simply reflect it using the mirror tool. And I'm gonna align it, Ctrl G, group it, and duplicate it. And now I'm gonna use it reflecting to the top, so I have a upside down pattern basically. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can make so many patterns from just a few items. You don't have to literally draw, I don't know, 10 pages of flowers in this case just to make 3 patterns. In this case, I had very few items. To be honest, it was just one illustration, and then I just created separate ones from the same one in Photoshop, just cutting it off. And when I got here in Silhouette, I saw that I could do even more. So I even erased more things and created single flowers to create new compositions and patterns. And then you have so many. Like, it's really fun. For me, it's really fun to do it. You're just creating with your own creation. Super fun. And you obviously will practice loads more. I usually spend, I don't know, let's say 4 hours or 5 hours just experimenting with new patterns, like too many of them, until I'm happy, and then I can choose the favorite ones or the ones that you can actually read better or they're gonna look nicer once it's printed out or even on screen, that you can even use this to post on your Instagram if you want. But yeah, that's how I do patterns in Silhouette Studio. If you guys have any doubts, just leave a message or send me a DM on Instagram as well. I hope you like this tutorial and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.